Hi guys, so I am doing another one of my Geode kits to show you. So here, look at this, isn't this so pretty? I have all quartz, this is all quartz. It is crushed quartz for the extra glitter, and then a little bit bigger chunks of quartz. So I think this would look really nice into the Geode. Now quartz does cost more than crushed glass, so it is a little bit more to add quartz to your order. I was adding an extra 10, but I think I'll knock it down to 7, just so that everybody can enjoy this nice quartz I have here. I also have quartz spears. Now, none of them currently, except for this little pile here, but I am planning to use them like as spears into here, just for an extra effect. So if you want some of those, I'll be restocking those shortly. I just wanted to show you. Maybe by the time you see this video, I'll already have more spears. We'll see. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Maybe, oh yeah, look at that. This quartz rock just breaks up with your fingers. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, not this chunk so much. Okay, so I am going to start. Now, I am going to first mix up my resin. Okay, and you won't have to mix your resin or measure your resin yourself. I'll already have it in 4-inch containers, or 4-ounce containers, 2 of them for two pieces, or 2 coats, I mean. You can see that there's this thin band of well, it's a paintable silicone. It's a thin band to keep your first layer from going over, so that we'll have a little bit of depth. I often do this too for space paintings. We're not really this caulking, but I use tape. Tape is easier when you have a square surface than a regular surface like this. But what I'll do is I'll take, I always use electrical tape because it comes off the best. I have seen other people doing with different tapes, but I have always had good success with the electrical tape, but not so much with other tape. So the edges here, all I would do, if this was square and I was trying to build up my layers for spacing, which I do a lot of actually, I would just tape around the edges so that the tape is out a little bit, but otherwise stuck to the board. So then you'd get your first layer in, and you would put your planets. I make little circle planets. This is coming to a new kit. I'm going to improve my current space kit. But you would have little planets you can put here, maybe a moon. It'll be square, won't be circular like this. But you build up the depth, and then you put your second coat on. You could still build it up if you want with more tape around, or just leave the original tape. And then you could do 3 layers, 4 layers, however many you want to do, and you'll get this totally 3D look. As long as most of the resin going, the resin going on is clear. So you don't use black, you just paint the base black, and then you do clear with a little bit of colors, and yeah, so watch for a video of that. So I'll just get started here. Now when you are mixing your resin, I recommend using gloves. I do have gloves in the kit. You can see that I'm not using gloves, but this is from a lot of practice. I don't get my hands too sticky. I do put gloves on when I'm actually applying the resin. Now some people have been using respirators for their resins. I personally do not, because there's no smell to this resin that I'm using. That is in your kits also. So I don't have a set, I don't smell anything. Then people say that you got to do it when you're torching, but I still don't smell anything when I'm torching, and we're not going super high temperature, so I don't know why that would change it. So yeah, I don't use a respirator. And I don't know if you notice my green cord. This is an oxygen cord. I do have bad lungs, and I don't find it that bothers me at all. Except for when I'm grinding off, you know, unsmooth edges, then I do wear a respirator, because that does stink. Okay, so that's all the resin. And I'm just going to stir this for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, can you see how kind of substrates they're in there. I don't know how well this is picking up on camera, but it's kind of cloudy looking. So you want it until it's clear. You will see it when you pour it in, that you'll see the difference in texture and a little bit of color maybe. So, you know, I was saying stir for a solid 3 minutes, but, you know, the manufacturer's information says 2 to 3 minutes. So I've been doing 2 minutes of stirring. Now you're going to see air bubbles in your resin. So don't think that's not clear. It is still clear. See, it's still milky looking here. So yeah, so this is not clear. I'll come back. I'm not going to make you watch me stir this for 2 minutes. Oh, and if you saw how it's stirring, I go rather slow. I definitely don't want to do this motion where I'm coming out, going back in. That introduces air bubbles into the resin. So I just kind of make sure that I'm going in a same circular motion, going rather slow. So I'll come back in 2 minutes once I have this done. Okay guys, I'm back. I'll show you what it looks like. I did end up stirring in too much air bubbles, so it still kind of looks a little milky, but it's actually clear. As you can see on my stick here, it's all mixed in. Now, I'm going for a white and gold kind of look. So I have this bright white mica powder. I do sell this. I have this Pinata Gold. I also sell this in smaller quantities. If you need some Pinata Gold and you're in Canada especially, I do buy this from Amazon in the big bottles, but it takes me forever to get them. So if you're in Canada and you want some Pinata Gold, just you can purchase it from me, and you'll get it quicker. And I'm also using this 24-hour karat gold. This is a gorgeous color. It is so sparkly and pretty. And this is also available in a couple of my packs that I'm putting together of mica powder. And then I'm using some nice gold sparkles, also available. But this is going to be for the last layer, not for the first layer. Oops. Because I'm going to be using clear with the sparkles, and I don't want it to interfere with my base coat. Or I don't want to see this wood. This is what I don't want to see, is the wood. So I'm going to separate my cups out. Mostly it's going to be white. And then if I think it looks too plain, I'll adjust and add other colors. Okay, that's one gold. This is the other gold, and I left it a little bit of clear behind to stick the quartz to. So I'm just going to mix these up. I also have gold leaf. And of course you can do this in silvers. I'm putting in about that much, so one little scoop on a stick. I probably could have used less, to be honest with you. And I did put too much in, but that's okay. It'll be super gold. So that's how that looks, all in resin. It's really pretty. And then this is the Pinata brand. Now I like this one because the alcohol will sink down or go off, whatever, and you'll just be left with this gold metallic line. That's what I like. So I did put a few squirts in. As you can see, the whole level of my cup is covered. I do this because I like getting the metallic pieces. Like, I don't even know how to explain this properly, but there, you see it in the cup, how some of it shines more than others. So yeah, all of my top here, most of my top has that really shiny sheen I'm going for. Once I stir it in, you won't see it as much, but once it dries, you do notice it quite a bit more. This is why I love this gold so much, because you'll get that gold sheen that is not found in mica powders. Okay, and now I'm going to do the white. There's quite a difference in this golds. Look at the color difference. Now, this is really white. It's not like those pearl whites that aren't really that white. And again, I'm using a fairly big scoop because it is going in the larger cup. So I don't need any more cups. I do even have another gold that I could use. Actually, 2 more different kinds of golds. But I think this will be good. Yeah, I use too much mica powder here too, guys, so you don't need to use as much as I use. And when I send the packages, just know that I'm sending a lot more than you need. So, you know, you just don't need the whole package. And definitely when you're doing your first layer, save some colors for the second layer. Okay, so I'm just going to put these aside while I stick on my quartz. So first, I'm just going to start just going around. Now, as you can see, I didn't use the caulking around as much because I find the rocks help it from not going in too much. Okay, so there. I just don't want to use super big ones. I'll look for the smaller ones. Alright, I guess that's all the spears I had. I thought I had more. Oh, I do. It's looking in the wrong spot. Just trying to even them out a bit. I don't know how much that one's going to show. Alright, so there we go. Now I gotta put crushed quartz on. I should have left the gloves off until this. Alright, so now what I'm doing is going around where I want the quartz rather than on the actual resin. The reason I do that is because if I go on the actual resin and I just kind of sprinkle this on, it will all disappear down the hole. So I do this, and then I push it with a stir stick. Oh, this kind of looks like a spear a bit. Stick that out. Okay, then take your stick. Okay, so I got most of it. I don't really want chunks, so I just keep working it here. You want to make sure you get all of the rocks over, because you don't want chunks in your resin too much. Okay, I lost a spear. And I do notice right here there's not a whole lot of rocks. So I'm just gonna, just a little bit, go around the edges, make sure it's all okay. And get the spear. Okay, so I wasn't going to use the gold sparkles, but I think I'm going to use just a little bit to go over the quartz. Sorry, I got these gloves here I can't seem to get on because of the glove shortage. I've only been able to get small gloves. Well, I got medium for my kits, but for a while I could only get small, so I have some of those left. I don't want to send them those in kits unless somebody specifies. If you got small hands and want small gloves, just say. So I'm not adding a whole bunch of sparkles. It's just kind of a light amount. It's still clear. It's just going to give it just a little bit of a drizzle, or a little bit of a gold look. So now I'm just going over. As you can see, the sparkles are really kind of not much. They don't take over the crystals, quartz. Okay, here we go with that. Now the next layer I always put is gold because I like the gold sheen around the edges there. I'm just going to give it a quick stir again because you can see it that it all went on the top again. So making a geode's really not that hard. All you do is really kind of go around in rings. Now if you saw my previous blue geode, I used Resi-Blast in it to create the effects that was in that one, which is different than what a regular geode looks like. Okay, and I'm going to go for the white, and I see specks of white showing through, like I didn't stir it enough, so I'm going to stir it a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to go around. And I'm going to do the other gold. Now I'm going to flatten it a little bit, spread it a little bit over here to fill the gap. Okay, more white. And the peanut gold. And I'm just gonna let that drip out. And I do have little gaps here. I'm just gonna push some of the colors so there's no gaps. Okay. Now I'm going to use my hand to spread the rest of this white on this section here. Okay. I feel like I don't have quite enough resin here, so I think that I'll increase the amount of resin that's in the packs. Okay, I'm just gonna put some gold here. Well, maybe there's enough. Yeah. This was enough. I just didn't put enough white in it. I didn't use enough white. I should have used a little bit more white. That's what I kind of ran out of. Now this is just a kind of a base layer anyway, so it's okay if it doesn't look that, if it's not that great. Which I don't like my lines. They're a little bit too big for me. Okay, so I'm going to torch it. It was enough resin, so 4 ounces of each is enough. Just when you're doing a main color, you could even just do the white, put it all over, and then use your gold. I also have this one's not working, but in the end I'll take little gold lines and just kind of add them. This is just paint. Okay, and where'd my torch go? Okay guys, I can't find my torch for some reason, so I'm take the opportunity to show you my new torch that will be in the store. It's a lot more higher quality than the other ones I was offering. So I'll show you the inside. It's nicely wrapped. Nice big handle, holds a lot of fluid. You can even weld with this, melt gold, and smelts solder. So I can't talk today. So you just put the base on like this, and you have to take the base off to fill it with the butane. All right, so Just go over, pop your air bubbles. This one must not have very much butane in it. It's not working that well. Got to fill this one. I just got them yesterday, so I haven't filled them all yet. But this is one of my regular torches, and it works just as well. I wish I had used more gold in my gold, like the liquid gold. I don't think it's going to have the sheen that I wanted. Not too much anyway. So next time I'll put more. Some of the rocks did escape me. I see them sitting there. But with the second layer, they should be mostly covered. It's just some of the fine quartz. I almost want to put a drop of Resi Blast in here so I can fix these colors. Oh, I wish this was a live video and I could ask you guys if I should do it or just leave it. And that's a hard one because I love Resi Blast and I love what it does. Yeah, you see how my white disappeared over on this section? So next time I will make sure that I do enough white, and there'll be more gold sparkles in here, and you know, different layers of clear with gold sparkles so that you will see underneath, but so it'll add depth. So that's the purpose of the clear. Yeah, so this is it for the first part, and I will be back in like a second for you to show the second layer. So with this first layer, you have to let it dry for at least 5 hours to 24 hours. Whenever it's not sticky to the touch, that's when you can put another layer on. So I usually do them after 5 hours. Sometimes it goes to 24 hours, and if I don't get to it at 24 hours, then what you do is you just lightly sand it. These will be adhered a lot better once this resin is dried. Just trying to get these spears out. Okay, so that's it. And I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, so I'm back to do the second layer on here. As you can see, the Resi Blast kind of made these big circular things here. Moved a little bit of the resin around, but it didn't really work as it normally does because I put it on kind of late. And I did skip a step. I've done it now, but I forgot earlier, is painting the inside here of this board so that you don't have just white board sticking out. So for this one, since I was using gold colors, I painted gold glitter paint so it sparkles, and I've also done it on the sides. So that's also in your kit, just to let you know. So I didn't like this color. It looks like orange to me. I hate it. So I will not use that. So I thought to go with the gold, that I'm going to add more gold to so it looks a little bit more gold. I'm going to try this champagne gold. So this is an acrylic paint, metallic. You can use paints in resin. You don't have to color them with alcohol inks or mica powders. It can be paint as well. So just gonna give this a stir. I don't know if I like the look of this one either, but we'll see. It's better than that orangey looking. I loved this color in the bag, but on here I'm not digging it too much. So I'm just going to put a little bit of it. You don't need much when you're using paints. Even what I put is probably too much, but it's already in there now. decided to take some of that glitter paint that I used on the sides, and I'll put it in a little bottle like this, and I'll just make a couple little lines around on the top when I'm done with the resin. So I'm going to do that gold, and the other gold, in a cup sparkly resin. So I'm going to add the sparkles in here. Oops, that might be too much, but that's okay. And before I mix up all my colors, I'm just going to put some resin down. And put more of the crystals on. All right. Okay, there we go. Just trying to get this, all the rocks. I don't like it too bumpy. Okay. Go. I think that should be good. I'm really loving this. I got these little tiny quartz crystals by accident. I thought they were bigger, but I think they really look nice in with the bigger crystals. Just gives it more sparkle, I think. Okay, so let's mix up the colors. It's already starting to go warm, so I'm losing some time here. I do that much of clear. And okay, so the rest of this is going to be white. Now, last time that I mixed this up, I ended up with little powder bites that didn't get mixed in. It's still just a bit tacky. So I'm gonna make sure I mix this up really well. Wow. Maybe I shouldn't go so fast in my hand. Okay, there we go. I hope that's good enough. Okay. Champagne gold. I think I'll like this champagne gold better than that orangey gold. So when you're mixing acrylics, it will get thicker, and you want to try not to have more than 10% of it as the acrylic. So you see I did have a little bit too much, so it's a little bit stiff, but that's okay, we'll work with it. Now, with this gold, last time I did not add enough gold because this is just really pale, and it's not supposed to be that pale. So I'm going to load it up with gold. Use the rest of my gold. Yeah, that's much better. That's much better. Okay, and then the sparkles. Wow, this really is getting warm, so I'm gonna have to get on with it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with the sparkles at first is just kind of drizzle them over the quartz. right, there we go with that. So we're right around this geode, I'm going to put the gold. Hoping it makes like a gold seal around. Now the weight. Oh, and you see I don't have gloves. Don't do that. I am not wearing gloves because, you know, I've worked with resin quite a bit and I just doesn't bother me anymore to get resin on my hands. I know it washes off with vinegar, so I mean it's not permanent. So I've kind of gotten used to the stickiness, but it is really sticky. And once you get it on your hands, it is hard to get off. You have to use vinegar. And if it's stuck in your hair and you let it dry, you don't notice it until later, it will totally be impossible to come out. You might try a little soak with vinegar if it's hard, but I've never been successful at taking out to the, I'd always have to cut the hair out. Clothing, same. Once you get it on your clothes, I mean, I've never tried soaking it in vinegar to see if that helped it. I just know that it doesn't wash out. What are you doing, Zeus? Sorry, my dog's scratching the floor, being a weird dog. I already like it a lot better without that crazy yellow or orange gold. I do not like that orange gold. And almost done. Now you can see the resin is just flowing over the board now. It's not piling up like it was. So it'll have a nice smooth finish when you're done. Now the Resi Blast is starting to do some things to my resin. See now what happens with the Resi Blast is you put it on, if you put it on the board while the resin is, you know, while you on your first layer of resin, it kind of pits a little bit, so that's why I never use it on the top layer. But if you use it on the first layer, what happens is that it will affect this layer, so it'll work on this layer, but we won't have that pitting problem. Okay, so building these little gaps. Okay, I got a little bit of this gold left. I just want kind of like thin lines. Oops, messed it up there. Okay, and I just have a little bit of the sparkles left. And I saved on purpose. Yeah, okay, so I don't know if I should just leave it now and put the lines on later. So what happens is if you leave it like it is now and I add the paint later, it will show as a layer on top. It won't be smooth. But if you add it now, it soaks down a little bit and it does become smooth. First thing I need to do is torch it though. I gotta tell you, doing resin geodes on molds is so much easier than doing like a free-form geode that you kind of just use on plastic, which is what I used to do. I used to take caulking and just make a shape out of caulking on a piece of plastic, and then I would use it as a geode. But you'd have to do several layers of the caulking to get it up high enough, thick enough for it to be a free-form geode. And my problem would always be with the rocks in the middle, sanding the crookedy edges here. That was always the difficult thing for me. So I much prefer this method with the mold. It's just so much easier to do. So even if you've had a lot of practice doing geodes and you don't need a kit like this, you might want to think you just buy a mold up from me, make a mold, whatever. Because it really is a big time saver. And yeah, with the other way of doing the free form with the caulking, I mean, I've taught it, and you know, I've had classes using that, and I did like it, but I did hate the part where you have to grind off the edges to make it smooth. So that's when I thought of doing this. I thought, well, what if it was on wood and I can, you know, cut out any shape I want. Maybe I won't have to sand as much if it just goes over the edges and it's not flat sitting in all the crevices of the caulking. So that's when I came up with this, and I'm very excited to share it with you. So I'm just going to go with this paint. Oh, it doesn't look like much now because it dries. It dries like the shimmer, almost like the sparkle here. Maybe one more. No, it's not going to, obviously, I didn't make like a normal geode where it's just kind of stripes. And that's because of the resin blast, and it will continue to change. It will look significantly different when it dries. And of course I will show you that. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it right now. Probably would have liked a little bit more white, but that's okay. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this champagne gold. I do like it better than what I had, so yeah. So that's that, and I'll bring you back when it has dried, hopefully in the morning, because I actually have a market show to do, and I am preparing for that, and kind of got lost in making a video. But anyway, I'll show you in the morning when it's nice and dry, and then hopefully you will leave me a message or a reply to the video and let me know what you think of it. You know, is it a good idea, do you think? What did you think of the actual process? You know, any input is good. Did you dislike my color choices, or, you know, whatever. Just leave me some input, because this is still a developing kind of product for me. Yeah, so I look forward from hearing from you, and we'll be back. Hey guys, so this is my result of the gold and white geode. It is really sparkly. And to get closer to it, and you can see the sparkle there, in here, and just everywhere, sparkle, sparkle. I love how I did these spears in there, so I'll definitely order some of those for anybody who wants to do that too. Yeah, and I really love the quartz in there, all the sparkle and the shine. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this one. So this will be you know, one style that you can copy, and I did make that blue one if anybody's more into darker colors. So yeah, that's it. And if you've liked my video, please like and subscribe, and you can find me on The Art of the Pour. So that's the Art of the Pour is a P-O-U-R on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can find me on my website at www.theartofthepour.ca. So you can find me in all those ways. So you can order a kit on Etsy or on my website. I try to sell them for as cheap as I can, as more reasonable as I can be. So yeah, take a look at my kits and see if there's anything else you like, and I hope to hear from you with any questions, comments, or even your own works. I love seeing other people's works. So yeah, I hope to hear from you. Thanks for joining. Bye.